Anyway, welcome to TruthStream with Mark Attwood for like the excitedly for about the fourth time. We're just stoked to have Mark, who's a man. We'll grab his book.
Yeah.
Oh, you finally got it.
Yeah, we finally got.
Yeah, there's
So sorry
with this
it took
one.
so long. There's a lot of confusion.
Things happen.
Yeah.
There's a problem with this one. It's not signed.
We'll
Yeah,
help
I did that. I did that on purpose so that we have to hook up.
Yeah.
There we go. See,
This is a magnificent accomplishment. I love this. Now I'm gonna have to get a coffee table. I mean, it's so
Hold it
beautifully
up a
put
little
together. I just randomly selected a page there, but it's
You can use it to prop up tables as well.
oh, okay. Well, that's a good thing.
And of course, if everything in it is bullshit, you could. Oh, it's good. Look at that. Who designed this book?
Oh,
If
it's beautifully done. I mean, it really is. The quality, it's just amazing.
I think you nailed it. I think this is people are gonna look at this and go, wow, this guy actually, had some insight into what the hell was going on in the world, rather than
Oh yeah,
I
was hoping to go right to the page that just had all the fucks, but I can't find it.
Oh, you mean the cunts?
A cunt, yes.
Right.
I still get complaints about that.
Good.
I wrote an article today. I wrote an article today on Substack, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been meaning to write this for a while, so I'm writing a Substack because I'm writing another book called Diary of a Conspiracy Theorist, because it hit me a couple of weeks ago. There's all these ping, ping, ping moments in my life where it led me to this point. And I thought, well, that would be fun to write. So I thought I'd set up a Substack, and that will force me to create these chapters. And this one chapter I really wanted to write about is called 9/11 and Me, Part 1, right? Because all these crazy things happen around 9/11. And I think it's, I want to write a book that's full of truth, but funny. I'm just going to read out this email that I got earlier.
Please.
Because this is the kind of shit we have to deal with doing this stuff.
Oh no. No. We don't want it to restart.
What, are you having problems, technical problems?
Oh,
Well, this thing is trying to. Okay, at least I got it to stop.
yeah,
All
we don't need a restart right now. Well, that's what I love about Mark. He flies by the cuff, seat of his pants, if you will, and we like it because sometimes we do interviews and sometimes we open our computer in a conversation, and that's today. Who knows what we're going to get today? But
Yeah.
it's not like a formal interview. Sometimes it's just, here we go, Mark, let it rip.
Well, actually, I blocked the guy and I can't find the email now. Just looking at it. But this guy wrote to me and said, fuck you for writing about 9/11. Fuck you. You weren't there. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. And I was like, oh, and I just wrote back, fuck off, blocked.
Yeah.
Because I think there's stories to be told. The poetry there is a story in and of itself, how they came to be. And our personal journeys are very, very important because they help people. And, if you don't want to read it, fuck off. Who cares? I mean, do you think J.K. Rowling gets people saying, no such thing as wizards, you fucking cunt? What?
Probably does.
Probably does, yeah. Probably does. But it's also interesting because I think what we've been going through in the last, obviously since this began, is a flush out operation. It's like we know that Q and everything is a sting operation, but in the last 6 months, it's been very, very interesting for me because it has been like a flush out. There was a guy I had on my show in December, and a very nice guy, and I thought he was, and he was saying some very interesting things. He started his own channel, and he was talking good stuff. And I was impressed, and I said, come on my show, let's have a chat. We did a show, and I got really busy. I've got 5 kids. I just opened a healing center. I had to publish this book. I've got a film coming out. I know we talked about that last time. And then he goes and does a post on Telegram the other day saying, well, all these truthers are blah, 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 and they're all in a network, and they're all coordinated by this guy in England called Mark Sexton, and all these people, all the research I did, why didn't they come back to me and share my research? And I include, and they just blanked me and ignored me, and Mark Attwood and this, that person, that. And I saw somebody sent this to me saying somebody's talking smack about you. I normally don't care, But I just emailed this guy 2 weeks earlier saying, hey, sorry, it's been a while. How are you doing? I really enjoyed that video you made on this Sound of Freedom. I thought that was very interesting. And he said, oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks later, he's lying about me on social media. And I'm like, fuck you. And then as soon as you come out on social media and say, this guy's lying, it discredits pretty much everything, because here's the proof that he's just fucking out and out lied, right? And started slagging people off and creating disharmony when we need to be creating unity. And then you get a load of people saying, oh, you just gave your energy away, you did that. And I'm like, stop fucking lecturing my channel. I'm just had enough of anybody giving me any shit about anything, because this is not a popularity contest. I don't care how many followers. I don't care. I'm here for the people that need me, and for the ones that don't, go fuck off.
Well, here's what we did. You go into your settings and you select voluntary, because our show is voluntary. People don't have to watch it.
Right.
Is there a voluntary setting?
Well, no, they, you know, some of these comments is it gets a little out there, you know, like
Well, you know,
being forced to listen.
Yeah, there's certain shows we have that, you know, they're maybe more about health or you know, product that we align with or whatever. So, you know, it's kind of cool, because then if people buy it, we can pay for our gas and food and stuff like that, because, you know, sharing the truth doesn't pay all that well. But it's like, if someone doesn't want to watch the health stream version, if you will, then just skip it. Don't leave some rude comment saying how this technology that's coming out should be free. Well, yeah, we thought so too, but here we are a couple years in now, you know, doing shows, writing books, making music videos, whatever we can do, and then we get shit for it. And this might be a little bit more of a swear fest than usual, but it's ridiculous. I mean, we're doing the best we can with what we have. So if you don't,
dude, I know that, and I got to apologize, because I did do a post after this. I was like a little bit wound up, and then I was like, and I thought there was another channel that talks smack about me, and then I realized they both had the word truth in their channel title. So I wrote this post. You can laugh at this. So I wrote this post going, I've come to the conclusion that anybody with the word truth in their fucking channel title is obviously full of shit. And it's like having Honest John's secondhand car dealership. There's nothing honest about them. And I posted it like this. Ta-da! And about an hour later, I went, hang on, TruthStream. Oh, fuck. Truth Tour. Oh, fuck. I go back in. And I thought I better just delete that. Because, you know, I'm human too.
sure.
So if you saw that, I apologize, because I actually was like, I did actually sit and think, who else do I know has got truth in their channel? I was like, I can't think of anybody.
And well, I mean, we can laugh at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys
Yeah,
would
but
laugh.
some people get so uptight about things. It's like, you know, I mean, some people, he might have to hit the loo. I'm not sure.
Don't hit it, shit in it. Different.
No, there's a Marcus Aurelius quote that's so perfect that I just didn't want to butcher. So
Yeah, he grabbed his iPad.
yeah.
So while he looks for that, so what has Mark been up to? What I mean, give us some insight, because you know, you got your finger on the pulse, I would say.
Well, I've been,
Found it.
I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to repeat from the last time we did a show, because January, everything flipped for me. And it was like, this is about healing now. You've done a lot of talking, now start doing some healing. So then I thought, okay. And then I did that video. I got told to make this video on Twitter, and I got told it, and I get 1 million views, and that's exactly what's happened. And that's been really powerful. And then I decided, I found a partner, a really good guy called Gary, and I said, look, let's just fucking open a healing center, because I'm not doing the waiting for med beds thing. I'm just not doing it. I'm not waiting for the RV. I'm not waiting let's just do it now, because you be the change that you want to see.
Right.
And if the med beds come in and then all this stuff is, the hyperbaric oxygen is obsolete, great. All I care about is the children and people healing and not dying. That's what this is for me. That's what it's all about. So I've been doing that, but then I got involved with a campaign called Do Not Consent, and it's a very powerful campaign which is going through, you know, birthing difficulties in some ways, but on the plus side, when we launched this campaign, we got hundreds of influencers to launch this logo all at the same time on the same day. And then we made videos saying, look, we withdraw our consent from any belligerent, corrupt government, right? Because consent is the one thing left that we have in our arsenal of peace. You know,
Exactly.
we don't want to be burning down buildings. We don't want to be doing all the stuff that's going on in Paris and all these other places, which they're trying to create with the forced immigration and all their crazy shit and NGOs and paid agitators and saboteurs and all the stuff they've been doing for fucking centuries. So I like this idea of this campaign. So I put my weight behind it, and so did a lot of other people. And we had like 200 million views on these videos in a very short period of time. And it's having an effect because this is energetic as much as it is physical. And people are getting confused because some people are like, we need to fight, we need to pull them out, we need to hang them up. And I'm like, well, do we? Because this is a spiritual war, and people they either don't know that or they keep forgetting it. So that's been very interesting. And then one day I'll write about it because there's so many unbelievable things. I'm talking to Lewis Holmes at the moment about trying to get it in America, getting people to copy this around the world, because the consent is the glue that holds it all together. Because we're all in invisible contracts, you know. But as soon as we, launched it, and it was like, do you remember that Life of Brian? It's the People's Front of Judea. No, it's not. It's the Liberated Front of the Peoples of Judea. No, it's all that kind of. Oh, no, I don't like the logo. You're using yellow. That's the same as the Ukrainian flag. It's like, for fuck's sake, because you cannot launch. How do you unite the human race when everybody's so full of ego and full of, well, I'm out on the streets every day, and what's this bullshit? It's like, it's time to unite. This is unity consciousness, which is already here. Christ consciousness is already here. And some of us, and I include you, are straddling multiple dimensions. And this has really become clear to me. We're not just in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7D. We're in these different densities all at the same time, which is fascinating. Yeah. So I did do a video a few weeks ago saying, right, I'm going to do a lot less videos, because when it came to the interviews, I was like, I've done thousands of interviews. I'm like, I don't know what else to talk about. But then, of course, the next day I get up and go, right, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that.
Yeah, you've never had a problem coming up with something to talk about, I don't think.
But it's a hell of a lot easier to do a 5-minute video in the garden about one point than it is to interview 3 people a day, which is exhausting for me now. I just, I will do it, and if it's really fucking interesting. But there's also a point I got to where people are just asking me for an interview because they want to promote something, and I'm like, well, yeah. So I think we're kind of past that now. I mean, I'll promote things if I really, really believe in it. But there's just so many people that I actually want to speak to that during this whole 3 years I didn't get a chance to speak to. So I interviewed Professor Dolores Cahill the other day because she's just been an absolute legend in this whole movement. Yeah, but she's getting slack. As soon as I put the video up, somebody else who I respect and trust sent me a thing going, oh, I see which side your bread butter's now, 100%. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Just, is it never ending? The division. And I'm like, I'm just all about love, peace, and unity. And cigarettes.
Well, we've had a movement that's I do not consent for quite a while, but it's been a Second Amendment group behind it. And everybody that works for the government, well, I shouldn't say everybody that works for the government, many of these people that are making decisions that affect our lives have sworn an oath to the Constitution, and our Constitution has a Second Amendment, and the key phrase is shall not be infringed. And then we have all these agencies that their purpose is to infringe. So everybody finally got fed up and said, I do not consent. And well, I shouldn't say everybody, not enough people, but it's a good start anyway. But I've often thought, why, that shouldn't be limited to, the ATF. What about the IRS? That taxation is called voluntary, but Willie Nelson tells a different story. So,
well, there's a story everywhere to counteract everything, and You know, we had a lot of people saying, "Oh, I've not consented since the beginning and I've not consented." Yeah, but they're missing the point. You know, what we're actually trying to do is find something that unites all of we the people. The problem, I think, is that how many people are actually we the people out of the supposed population of this planet? I mean, the conclusion I've come to is that it's probably less than 20%. So that means we've got 80% of people that are not fucking people. They're NPCs, they're reptilians, they're hybrids, they're clones. They're what I mean, this is the
Bingo.
crazy fucking thing about all of this. But I come back to the same thing every single time. We're eternal spirits. We're fighting this spiritual war a very long time. When I first met you two, I knew you.
Yeah.
You knew me. We were laughing like old friends immediately.
Yeah.
You know, what's that about?
The truth.
Yeah.
Oh, which brings me to that quote, which would have been better placed earlier, but it's worth repeating. I kind of want to pin this for our channel because, you know, we pursue the truth, but, you know, we don't claim to, you know, be the arbiters of it. And
Adventures in.
so, yeah. So Marcus Aurelius gave us this beauty. It's everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Because it is, our perspective is so limited. Our senses are so limited, at least the ones we're working with in this 3D environment. So how could we possibly attest to the truth of one thing or another?
Well, you know, I've spoken to a lot of people over the years, and the one conclusion I come to is that there is not one truth. There are multiple truths, and each one is designed for you and your personal journey in this spiritual development, which is what this is. This is Earth School. We are the creators. You are the only thing in existence. You're creating me, and I'm creating you. So once you kind of get your head wrapped around that, none of it matters anyway.
As long as it doesn't become relative, because I know there's like a big push to make truth relative, just like morality is relative. When then we're just swimming in a sea of nihilism and desire and will, and you know, that's proven to be pretty destructive in the past when that trend takes hold. So, you know, it's somewhere in between immutable truth that sometimes is hard to look at, and it's, you know, there is some, I suppose, subjective truths as it pertains to our viewpoint, the point at which we view the thing, the perspective that we hold based on the position that we're in at any given time. Change that position, you change your perspective on it.
Yeah, I mean, I learned something 10 or 12 years ago, which was that everything's exactly as it's meant to be. And when I first heard that, and I was going through a load of shit, I'd be talking to myself going, everything's exactly as it's meant to be. And then my other voice would be going, no, how can it be? Look at all the fucking shit that's going on. It's like when my dad died, when I was 17, I walked out of the chapel of rest, saw my dad's dead body in his wedding suit, and came outside, and I had a little flask of whiskey, and I looked up at the sky, and I just went, oh, you know, and 30 years later, or however many years it is now, nearly 36, I think. I did a healing last year with an amazing guy in Spain called Gordon. And my dad came through and he said he had to die in order to set me on this path. And I was like, and I knew it was true.
Wow.
And I was like, and you know, if I'd heard that 20 years ago, I'd have punched whoever said it, you know, because we're all on these individual paths that we chose in order to do the work that we're supposed to do here, which is raise the consciousness of the whole planet, which is why when I think about everything's exactly as it's meant to be now, it's not just a thing I say to myself, it's something I just know, you know. Everything's exactly as it's meant to be. And that drives some people fucking crazy, which makes it even better.
It's great.
I mean, look at Sound of Freedom, right? Sound of Freedom comes out, right? And we've been waiting for it, most of us, for 2 or 3 years more. And it's hello, daughter. I'm doing a live show, so don't come this side of the camera. Otherwise, you'll be all over the fucking internet, and that's not good. My daughter's just come around with a gang of kids, and they're all like, "Oh, whoa, fuck."
Well, tell her hello from TruthStream.
I will. She'll go, "Who's TruthStream? What the fuck's that? Are you doing that weird shit again, Dada?" No, she's amazing. She's a starseed. She's fucking amazing. She's a genius because she hates school, and I love that about her. I was like,
Relate.
They do listen to me after all, even though they say they don't. The sound of freedom, right? We've all been waiting for it. And, you know, I've been going on about we need to raise awareness of the biggest industry on this earth, which is child trafficking, which is adrenochrome. This is the biggest. It's not a big industry. It is the biggest industry, right? The biggest. At least 1 billion children in the last 80 years. I say it again and again. Those are real figures. 22,000 children every day. You can find them on websites that prove that number. That's the tip of the iceberg, right? Do you want to live in a world with that going on? No. So you do this. Are you willing to die to do this? Yes, I am, right? Because I ain't fucking having it. So Sound of Freedom comes out and it's like, I'm like, brilliant. And then I look at it and then you've got people like Dr. Amanda Vollmer, who I really respect in Canada, wrote the book, Heal Yourself with DMSO, right? I've interviewed her on my channel. She comes out with a video going, don't you fucking realize this movie is about making more people manifest this stuff? And I'm like, she's got a fucking point.
Yeah.
And then and other people are going, because, you know, she's a very, very fucking bright woman who understands the cabal and the system and everything else. And then you've got other people going out slagging off people for not supporting it. And then you've got other people saying that they're all fucking doing this in their promo videos. And then you've got other people saying, well, Tony Robbins is fond of it. He's a bad guy. Blah, blah, blah. But it's all beautiful when you understand the multidimensional, interwoven Chinese puzzle madness of the whole thing, because it's all there for you as an individual. That's what I think.
Well, that's a tricky thing because, you know, the idea of, well, we don't want to discuss it because we don't want to collectively create these things. And you're right, that is a good point. But sweeping it under the carpet that we call that denial. It doesn't really work.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Isn't it brilliant?
So
though?
it's honing in on the part that stops the bad thing. And I think this does a reasonably good job of doing that. You know, when you're talking about affecting the masses, it's always messy, right?
Especially masturbation.
Yeah.
Couldn't resist that mass joke.
Yeah. Well, we see an awful lot of that going on with just our media. Yeah. It's
well,
nothing.
I was going to say something that I talked with my cousin today about this, and she's noticing, especially one post on Facebook, a woman that is very liberal is now letting people know that they need to see this movie. And because my cousin will ask me, how long is this going to take? And I'm like, well, don't think of it as time. Think of it as awareness. And the fact that you're seeing your liberal friend talk about the Sound of Freedom, that can't be anything but good, because now it's in the conversation of the housewives, the soccer moms. That's the whole point, I think, of this. And then that allows more conversations and people to look more deeply into it if they so choose. But I think, just the fact that movie's released shows a massive shift. Whatever people think of Tim Ballard or Trump or Caviezel or masks or clones or whatever side they're on, maybe that's true. But the bottom line is this is out there now, and that in itself is huge for a paradigm shift for humanity.
Yeah, I agree. I was over the moon that it was out, but I still take Amanda's point.
Sure.
Because I think, like I said, there's multiple truths, and the devil is a slippery motherfucker.
Yep.
Just in the last couple of months, I've actually spoken to people with totally black eyes, and I'm like, oh, interesting. But I have zero fear because they are terrified of me. And the other thing I'm noticing is a lot of these people with these black eyes that are obviously possessed are dwindling physically, whereas I'm growing physically. And it's like, this is really interesting. You know, I'm running up I smoke lots of cigarettes. I'm running up hills, mountains now, just because I got so much energy.
That's
And I
amazing.
still carry on drinking and smoking, and I do, you know, I'm not like, I don't do it all day, but well, actually probably do actually. But I bounce out of bed and I'm busy as fuck. I mean, you know, today I've been solidly busier than most people that I know. And I work all the time, and I'm always creating something. And it's wonderful because I think it's such a gift to be here at this time. And you know, if you're being asked to do stuff by your higher self, God, you know, whatever you want to call it, then it's your privilege to do it. It's like if my kids ring me and say they want to lift at midnight, it's my privilege to do that because I'm their dad, you know, and we are God's children. We are part of God. We're fractals of God. We are literally the creators. So it you know, the arguments are actually answered multidimensionally about something like Sound of Freedom, because in the 3D you can go rah, 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 rah. Well, then you can just transcend the whole fucking thing and go, it's all exactly as it's meant to be. It's all cool. I mean, one of the fundamental tenets of Taoism is letting go. You know, and when I was suicidal 5 years ago and God saved my ass, the first thing he said was, you have to let go of everything. And I was like, everything? Not cigarettes, surely. He said, well, you can wait for that. That's fine. But and he said, it doesn't really matter anyway. And I was like, okay, I'll carry on smoking. Because it doesn't, you know? And it was even like, I said, well, what, my children, have I got to let them go? I've said this many times before, and I apologize to anybody that's heard it before, but he said, yeah, you have to let it all go. I was like, whoa, that's some serious shit. And I was doing memes about letting things go 10 years ago, but I didn't get it. And I'm not saying I do now, but I'm saying I'm a lot closer to getting it than I was. And everything that we do, no consent campaigns, videos like this, talking about products. You know, you introduced me to that amazing woman with the spore-based probiotics, and that's fucking changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to you two for that introduction. I shared it with my people, and I got an email today from somebody. You know, I get these nasty emails. I got an email from somebody today who just said, I just can't thank you enough. You've changed my life completely because of all the people you've interviewed and the things you've shown me and the stuff that I've introduced into my life. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
It's incredible. They meet guys like you. I
Oh,
mean, I can't wait to show you the Truth Tour film. It's just not quite finished.
Well, we're excited for it. It's
yeah,
gonna be worth the wait.
we're excited that we're, I don't know in what capacity we're part of it, but
No, we edited you two out.
oh, thank you.
I requested that actually, so thank you. You know, we talked about
Or we were part of it, then that's okay too.
Well, a lot. Who's in the film is a lot to do with, could Kieran be asked filming that day? That's what it was about.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, 'cause I had to go, did you get that? And he's like, what? Get what? I was like, fuck off.
Well, I established a friendship with him early on because I knew.
Oh, there you go.
Wise guy.
No, you mentioned the smoking and the drinking, and I had you know, in the prior to recording, I was telling you about a post that our friend Manifesting Marin posted about you know, these people, they get really on their high horse and preachy about, you know, well, you know, I stopped drinking, I'm a vegan, and you should be too, and you're not getting it if you're not doing these things. And I'm just thinking about how damaged we've become with all of the, you know, whether it's MK Ultra, whether it's every form of mind control that we've been exposed to. People really have a deficit when it comes to knowing who they are. So they're constantly searching for an identity, and it's pretty hard to solve a problem if you don't have a sense of self that's in some way accurate. But it's amazing how damaged they are. Everybody's got to pick, especially younger people, because they've been exposed to the worst of it. They pick an identity off the shelf and they put it on like a costume. And so, you know, in order to be a spiritual person, you gotta have dreadlocks and whatever the trend might be. And you know, I remember there was a monk, I can't think of his name, a Tibetan monk. He used to be famous for coming into town and partying it up and going to the brothel and drinking himself silly.
My kind of monk.
Yeah, people be like, you know, you're a monk. What are you doing? That doesn't make sense. And he said, well, you have to have balance. And
Right.
so, and this is really
Wow.
what I'm getting at, because lately it's all about, we could talk about right and wrong all day long, and we're always going to butt heads over it. And what nature does, I think, is key. It doesn't concern itself with right and wrong. It concerns itself with balance. And so it's finding that balance. And in finding that balance, I think you find yourself if you struggle with that. And so it's not about following trends. That's all false light. The only light that really matters is the light you're putting out from within. And that's an inside job. You're not going to find something off the shelf that's going to help you in that pursuit.
Well, real quick, speaking of light, we've got Dark Attwood here.
Yeah, that happened quick.
And he had his
I can fix that. Hang on.
well, and then he lit the cigarette. I mean, it was just
Dark Outward's pretty good.
Dark Attwood.
You've
Yeah.
been working on that one for a minute?
No,
or-
well, for 38
it
seconds.
was sharp.
Well, I mean, you got to interject it at the right time.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you did. It was great. Joe's the master of puns, and
Oh yeah, you're not the first one to say Dark Attwood. I've had that a few times.
Hey,
was that a comment?
Don't
from
rain on my
a
parade.
It just means you're tuned in creatively with the source. And but Dark Attwood does exist, has existed. So has Mark. Mark is the first light. First light of creation. Dark makes sense because what is the Hopi prophecy of the eagle and the condor? It's the dark and the light coming together.
Right.
That's what this is all about. And if you're not working on your
Balance.
dark side, what is the fucking point of you? Because it's all about integration.
We can't see it without the contrast, right? We can't see the light without the dark. We can't see.
Would you appreciate daytime without night?
Right. We have to have contrast.
This is why Scandinavians are all messed up. It's just daytime all the time. That's a joke, Scandinavia. I love you. You're hurt to Mark.
Dark
Oh.
Outwood.
All this stuff about smoking and the drink. I mean, God bless him. Charlie Freak was going on about this 3 years ago. He said, if you have sex, if you don't eat celery, if you smoke and drink, that you're not going to ascend. And I really like a lot of what he says. And I was like, well, I'm not getting that because I meditate too, and I'm getting a completely different message.
right.
The
Well, don't forget
message-
drinking your own urine, because you got to do that according to Charlie Freak as well.
If I could reach my penis, it's not the only thing I drink. Hey, even jokes like that, they're like, you can't be spiritual. You do jokes like that. I'm like, fuck you. You can't be spiritual. You swear. Oh, fuck off. It's like, there'll be people doing comments under here. The way of Jesus is this, and you are breaking. No, because I'm a fractal of God, and so are you. And I think it's all the fucking NPC wankers that do all this shit, right? And they give it all that, and it's all. The problem is, what are we getting away from? We're getting away from dogma. What is religion? It's dogma. It's a limited hangout. So you go and follow another Messiah. I've been saying since day one, don't listen to me. There is no savior. It's you. You're the Messiah. You're the fucking guru that you're looking for. I've been saying that. Go back to my first videos. I've been saying that all the way through. Stop judging everybody. Stop judging yourself. Relax. Enjoy your life. Live in the present moment. You want to listen to things like this? Great. Take what's good and leave the rest. Oh, no. I mean, the most controversial. I mean, I've talked about satanic ritual abuse, and lots of other fucking dark subjects. But the most controversial thing I've ever had responses to is when it hit me a couple of years ago that veganism is a satanic agenda because it's designed to weaken the human race. And as soon as I said that, attack. Because vegans are very fucking aggressive.
Zealots.
Because they're eating oxalates. If they only looked into what an oxalate was, they'd understand it themselves. But they're tough because they're part of a religion. They're part of a cult. Anything with an ism, avoid it.
That's true. Oh God, that's really something.
I mean, the only truth is you. You are the truth. And that's it.
Well, that's the thing. It's an inside job. You're not going to find some externality that's going to help you. And our I believe it's a Navy SEAL expression. It may just be military in general. Actually, maybe it is, but embrace the suck. You know, we're always looking for ways to be comfortable.
No, that was part of their gay recruiting campaign.
And we're gonna get comments now. No,
I'm joking.
yeah, of course you are. It's a great joke. No, the idea that, you know, steel is hardened by adversity, by fire. You know, we find our character in our despair, or in the most challenged moments, when we're shown that we're capable of more than we thought we were. And you know, this last few years has kind of sucked, but it's also been some of the best time I've had on this planet. You know, just
You know, me and Derek Johnson were the only two guests that did every date on the Truth Tour. We're both ex-military, and we said to each other privately, "This is harder than military training," and it was. And I said to Lewis, "You motherfucking, will give us some sleep, you bastard," right? And he didn't. And you know, and I have a joke with him about it, but it was the best experience ever, because it did. And everybody watching this should go and watch George Carlin on germs, because he actually says that in that whole routine. He says, "When did everybody become afraid of germs? When we were kids, we were swimming in raw sewage."
Yeah, that's right. I've seen that one.
Yeah, we were tempered like steel. And you know, that's what they've done. They've just made us into, I mean, I don't want to repeat myself, but I am going to say this because it happened to me again today. I took my car to this car wash, and this young Irish lad was washing my car with real meticulous attention. And then I wound down the window and I said, "How much do you want?" He said, "Well, it's up to you." So I gave him a tenner, and he said, "Oh, geez." Obviously, nobody ever gives him that much. He was like really over the moon. And then we had a 10-minute conversation about my car, because my car is a 4.2 liter, 420 horsepower supercharged old Jaguar. And he said, "Oh, look, this is amazing." I said, "This is the only one of its type in this country." And it cost me nothing, because nobody wants to drive them. They're all fucking queuing up for woke EVs, which are full of shite, right? And we had this whole conversation. I said, "You can sum it up like this." I said, "The original version of this model of car was designed by a man who drinks pints of warm beer, eats ploughman's lunches, smokes a pipe, and slaps women on the arse." Whereas all these other fucking pieces of shit that you can see around you are designed by boys with bum fluff on their cheeks, man bags, on a fucking scooter, drinking a latte, soy latte. You know, that's where we're at. It's humans. It's humans versus demons right now, and the demons can't win, so fuck them.
well said, sir. Oh God, you nailed it.
It's so good to have you back.
Oh, I know.
Have you missed me?
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Perpetually.
Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta all get
I mean-
together again. Maybe not in
Well, no, we will. We're gonna have parties like you won't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The good times are coming, but the good times are already here if you choose for them to be here.
Right.
You know, if you're watching this going, I mean, I did a thing with Lewis the other day, and somebody wrote a comment saying, "This man's so arrogant." I'm like, I don't care. That's just AI demonic shit coming back at me, because I used to be concerned that I was arrogant. So it comes back. I'm not arrogant. I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. If you don't care and you're not afraid of dying, you're invincible.
100%. The opinions of others, if that's really your first concern, then you know, I don't know. That's a whole nother struggle in and of itself.
Well, I started this show because I didn't want to. I was fed up with the opinions of others, and I was just like, "Fuck it, I gotta do something." And it is. It's amazing. It's amazing, like the pressure of the last few years, what it has done to. I mean, I know personally, and what what we're talking about right now. But it's just like, yeah, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna wait around for this, awakening to get to the point where the RV happens and we have money and all that? I mean, if people want to, I mean, be the change that you see. Do something. I mean, share a video, start a podcast, write a book, write a poem. Just, I mean, we're here to. I mean, it's amazing to be on, like, I don't know if you, not really the ground floor, because there's so many amazing truthers, if you will, that came before us, but to be here at a time as humanity is awakening to this, it is pretty cool to be part of these conversations with you and to know that people are eventually going to see what the hell we're talking about. And it's just, I'm in a great place considering all the stuff that, people are waiting for this and that. And it's because we're doing something. We get to talk to people like you, and Scott and I aren't just sitting around, what can we do? We're doing something.
Well, we don't consent, and we haven't consented. And this, the show's evidence of that. But I mean, all three of us have made that commitment a long time ago. Fuck them.
But now you're getting it. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them all. I mean, but in a loving way.
In a loving way.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them tenderly. Yes.
Fuck them, fuck them gently. I'm not very good. I'm not very good at that. I tried that.
Oh wow. Well, we might get some interesting comments.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Yeah, why not?
That's what it's about. I mean, if we're not stimulating people, what's the fucking point of doing this? I mean, what is the point?
Right.
I mean, when I opened the, so I was doing this talk. I was supposed to do this talk in an island about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was for this event called Think Local, and it's a really nice event organized by really nice people all trying to do really good things, and they invited in some amazing people from around Europe to talk about COVID in reality, but also talk about solutions like buying local and how to grow food properly and how farmers could be reorganized. Really good intellectual kind of event, right? And it got closed down. As I was driving to the event, I got a phone call saying it's been cancelled. And I was like, what the fuck? Why has it been cancelled? Because some woman, I call her a woman, she's fucking some sort of demon, but she's well known in this country for calling anybody that speaks out against the government fascists, white supremacists, right wing, blah, blah, blah. But what she did is she called the venue and said, you're going to get known for being part of a white supremacist, fascist, anti-Semitic, all this usual shit, right? So the venue shit themselves and spoke to the organizer and said, no, we're not doing it. Because they're terrified, protecting their business. Then they got a second venue very quickly. The same thing happened. And then we all got together anyway, and then made a press conference, filmed that, and that video got like 250,000 views, which was about like a million times more coverage than it would have gone if it had actually gone ahead.
Right.
Everything's exactly as it's meant to be, And when I opened the healing center pretty soon after that, and then this woman wrote again on Twitter, English fascist who lives in this town in Boyle in Ireland, and she lives in the same fucking town. That's what's really funny about it. So I've got this crazy bitch who has, I've seen her before. She walked past me and she takes pictures of me like this as if I can't see her. She's absolutely insane. So what?
Can't wait to have a conversation with her in the produce section of your local grocery store. That's going to be fun.
Hey, can you tell us a little bit, what is the healing center going to consist of? Like what kind of modalities?
It's already open, dude.
Oh, well, we haven't been there yet.
Well, you're going to have to come over because, I mean, either come over or just copy the idea. I'll show you the website.
Yeah. Because I share. You can share. That'd be great.
Yeah, let me just
from dark to light there.
From dark to light.
Yeah.
From Mark to.
So it's called live5dhealth.com, and it was really inspired. So it's hyperbaric oxygen chambers.
Oh,
There's
nice.
2 of them.
Wow.
Okay, so you get into these things. We put the pressure on, and you get like 15 times the normal kind of oxygen your body would normally get. And what it does is it floods you with oxygen and heals pretty much everything that needs healing. It just helps your body heal itself quicker. And so if you've got a broken bone, it will heal it much quicker. If you've got a virus, it will heal that really quickly. If you've got cancer, it can help with that enormously. So it's just, and I got this strong message. There's all the things that kind of it helps with. I got a message very strongly that we need to create bridges, right? Because I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I am an anti-vaxxer. But if somebody thinks I'm an anti-vaxxer, because I think all vaccines are poison and always have been, right? I don't think that. I know it. But there's a lot of people who are starting to realize this, but they're still terrified of the terminology, like being called a racist. Call me a racist all day long. I'm not a fucking racist. Never have been. Never said a racist thing in my life, right? Because just names. It's just name calling, right? So the oxygen, hyperbaric oxygen, was actually invented 400 years ago. by an English physicist. Can't remember his name. It's on the website. So they've never been able to completely wipe it out, or wipe it away. But what they have done is they've sidelined it. And so they've kept it for deep sea divers and people like that. Because you can't argue with 300-400 years of research and results. You can't bury that. So they sidelined that stuff, like they sidelined methylene blue and ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. They just give a bit of bad press about it, sideline it, and then most people, shit themselves. So for me, it was about creating a bridge, because we are bridges. I mean, you guys are in terms of Dolores Cannon's work. We are the souls that came in at the time we came in, because we were about the same age, to be bridges between warriors and healers. Right? That's who we are, and I totally believe that. I get that. So I've done a lot of warrior work, and now I'm doing a lot of healing work, and doing both. But the main thing is that people who have had the jab and stuff like that, and are suffering with jab side effects, this will help. This helps. And when they come in, then we talk to them about other things like orgonite and zeolite, and really, really useful thing, methylene blue, and stuff like that. Structured water. Structured water is the main problem we have on this planet. Clean, structured, alive water. Even my friend who's staying with me at the moment, she said, well, I drink Evian. I said, yeah, that's fine. It's great, but it's dead water. And well, I like it. I like the taste. Well, yeah, but and he's like, she'll find out in her own time. It's not like you can't force people to understand this stuff. But clean, structured water changes your blood instantly. I had Harry Rhodes here. He came to do a talk. He's an inventor from the UK, and he's invented this amazing structured water device. I'll get you one. I'll get you to show you it if you want.
Yeah.
It's like $70, and it's like a little machine. You put it in. It's got copper coil, magnets, pyramids. 30 seconds, water goes in, and then boom. My daughter was here the other week with a bunch of her friends. We had a microscope on the table, took my blood, put it under the microscope. It was like pristine, bing, 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 clean as a whistle.
Wow.
My daughter and her friends, all their blood was clumped together, and in a really, it looked sad, because they're not drinking structured water, right? And they're drinking all the crap that you get from the shops, and the monster drinks and the Coca-Colas and all this fucking poison. And I say poison, I'm sat here smoking a cigarette, but because I drink structured water, this doesn't have an effect. In fact, I was with somebody the other day. They said, that's really weird. I can't even smell cigarettes on you. And I said, well, I think it's because the blood's clean, because there's nothing to latch onto. And the demons can't latch onto it.
There's a moment of truth that happens when you drink a bottle of Evian water in the mirror.
What does it spell backwards?
Naive.
Naive. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my. Well done, sir.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, this healing sense is called Live 5D Health. If you put that in the mirror, it's probably
I was talking to a vegan yesterday, and he goes, thing about being a vegan, you can eat Doritos and drink Pepsi and be a vegan. that was from a vegan. I thought that was pretty entertaining.
My friend had a vegan wife, and she was a soldier about it. And the whole time I'm just thinking, why is his wife so fat? Like she's a vegan. They're supposed to be skinny.
Well,
yeah. No, there's so much vegan junk food out there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's all junk. It's all junk.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you are a vegan, you should only be eating organic stuff you've grown yourself with heirloom seeds, right?
Mm.
But they don't. They go to the shop and they go, Doritos, that's fucking vegan. No, it isn't. It's probably got crunched up dead babies in it. If you go and look into it, you fucking idiots. So, they've been pushing this shit on us all the fucking time.
Yeah. Well, once the billionaires, the Soroses and the Bill Gates and all of his partners started pushing a no meat diet, that was pretty revealing.
Well,
yeah.
Whatever agenda they have, I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, I honestly think Bill Gates was hung by Indian farmers in 2013. I believe that story.
Yeah, ditto.
And so who is this Bill Gates?
Hopefully we get to hang him again.
Who is he? Who is it? Soros as well. I think this war's been going on much longer than we think. I mean, it came to me that fracking is a cover story for cleaning out the dumbs that's been going on for 20 years. And then what happens? You get the anti-frackers coming out and all of this. And then, and I was an anti-fracker. But I'm open-minded enough to receive that information and go, fuck, that's brilliant. If that was the case, I might be completely fucking wrong. But the thing is, wouldn't that make sense? Because how long would it take to clean out 10,000 deep underground bases, some of which go hundreds of thousands of miles down? You know, this is huge. It's beyond belief how big it is. And we're lucky to be still alive, still talking, but on the surface. So I think God's just going, right, you've got a bit of time, go and do something useful. Start TruthStream or open a healing center or smoke cigarettes, whatever the fuck it is. And the thing is, there's no judgment. We're moving in 5 and 6 and 7D. I think, you know, we're already in 4D. I think we're in 4D now. Generally, I think people, you know, I got a phone call from a guy the other day. He said, been watching you for 3 years, and I just want to tell you my story of when I saw a dragon. And he told me the story about seeing a dragon, because I told the story about seeing a dragon of light just over there that flew right over my head. A fucking dragon made of light. You sound like a lunatic, right? But the thing is, it's true. And there's loads of other, when you talk about this stuff, other people come out and say, yeah, I saw that. That happened to me.
That's starting to happen
all the
it's
time
it's
now.
Yesterday 4 people were talking about ships and aliens, and it's just like I looked, I'm like, I would not have been able to have this conversation a couple years ago like this. Actually, and one of them was a vegan. He actually looked to be in good shape. So there are some vegans that, you know, that look like they're in good shape.
No, they are in good shape because it takes 30 years for it to kill you. No, it does.
I have to ask. So for as much as you're yourself in these videos and you just lay it out like this, and I know you get some people that give you shit, you got to get a lot of great comments where people are like, thank you for just being you. I mean, tell us about some of those comments.
Well, I get loads of those. I get love poems. I mean, it's I've got stalkers. I've got all sorts of weird, crazy shit. I've got people that think that they're married to me in another life, or we created. I mean, it's fucking nuts. But the thing is,
other than my comments, he's talking about.
I was thinking about this today, right? So, where is it? I'm gonna get it. Right.
Okay.
Just make sure there's no kids. Because this is a really good point. Because the first thing I did online really when this started is I rewrote "If" by Rudyard Kipling, right? Which is a very audacious thing to do. But this poem is on my wall, and it's been with me since I was 11 or 10, when a really amazing woman gave it to me, who was a very rich old woman that my mum was a cleaner for. And there's a line in it I was thinking about today, which actually covers this off. And I had to fetch the poem so I can see it. Because despite rewriting it, I haven't fully memorized it properly. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. And yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. And there's no do you remember early on in COVID, there was a video of Donald Trump and somebody set to this poem that got billions of views. And there's a reason for that. But where's the line I'm thinking of? Yeah. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. So when somebody says something nice about me or nasty about me, I treat it exactly the fucking same. And it's like water off a duck's back, because in the old paradigm, the 3D celebrity money bullshit satanic paradigm, it was all about getting good reviews. Now, don't get me wrong, I love to hear somebody say something nice about my work. But if somebody says something bad about it, I'm like, okay, fair enough. It's your opinion. You're welcome to it. In fact, I applaud the fact that you live in a world where you're allowed to say that my work is shit. But I know it isn't, so it doesn't matter.
There you go.
Simple truths.
Who cares? You know, it's about moving away from the need for approbation. So what I've been saying to people for quite a long time is that if you're a writer, you know, you don't need a publisher. Do it yourself. Write it yourself. If people like it and it sells, great. That's the marker, not some twat who's probably a Satanist, because most publishers are, because that's part of how they've controlled the world with books and newspapers, and media and TV and film and everything else. You know, you don't need that approbation. I said to my son a year and a half ago, you don't need this certificate from school. You don't need to go into a place that makes you wear a mask and talks about how fucking shit Trump is 5 times a day, or how great LGBTQ is in every lesson, physics, history, doesn't matter. He was getting it all the time. He was depressed. I said, fuck that. Go and live your dream. So he did. He's a sailor. He's a captain of a yacht.
Nice.
18 years old.
That's amazing.
A proper fucking captain of a yacht. 18. What? Yes. I was flying planes when I was 16. You know, what the fuck? They keep you in school. I was listening to a journalist today, and he was saying, you know, when my first job was at the Sun when I was 23, 24, I was just a kid. I was like, just a kid? You're 24 years old. You're not a kid. You're a man. You're a man at 18, 16. You know, we've just pushed it out straight. We created these pathetic, useless fuckers, right? And then filled their heads full of shit so that we can get them to vote whichever way we want them to vote for fake presidents and LGBT and fucking. I mean, America's embarrassed. I mean, everywhere's embarrassing. But I mean, there was a picture I saw the other day of the health guy who's the fucking transvestite guy, the Navy unit. What the fuck is that about?
It's pretty.
I mean, go back and show John Wayne that picture. Go back and show Lee Marvin that picture. It'd blow your fucking heads off.
Makes me think. It makes me think this morning I read about the greatest moment in women's soccer. Did you read about this?
No, I'm waiting to laugh.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
well, Megan Rapinoe colossally missed a penalty kick that ended her career in a big game, and I just thought this is incredible. I mean, that's a reason to watch women's soccer for sure. But
Did this just happen?
yeah, yeah, I think it's. Tell you, the sanctimonious are getting theirs lately, it seems, and it's a pleasure to watch. But you know, when we strive to make the world a better place, we need to make sure we're not striving for homogeneity. Homogeneity. Yes. Homogeneity. Thank you.
Yes.
I totally agree. We should not be homogenous.
No.
I have nothing against anybody. If you want to go and play women's football, if you want to be a lesbian, you want to be gay, you want to be a transsexual, I don't care. I want you to be happy, but I want to live in a world where there isn't a government pushing that shit on people.
Bingo.
Because there is a natural state of harmony that we are supposed to be in, you know, and it's about being free of caring what people think about you and expressing yourself and finding your own place in the world. Because this is an abundant, incredible, gorgeous place, all of the dimensions that we're actually in. And we're just going to find our place within it by vibrating at the right frequency. And if somebody, you know, it's in our language, you know, we say, I had a good vibe off. I mean, when I met you guys, I was like, oh, great vibe off these two, right? But it's in our language. Vibration, frequency, it's there. It's always been there.
Mm-hmm.
We've just become less aware of it as a species. You know, our ancestors knew all of this shit. Inside out, upside down. They just hit it. And all we're doing is rediscovering stuff that was already there. And what you said earlier about it being an inside job, you're absolutely right. But I remember when somebody said that to me like 10 years ago, because I was going on about satanic ritual abuse 10 years ago on Facebook. And there's quite a famous woman in England that I was working with at the time. She said, Mark, you got to stop this. It's an inside job. And I was like, yeah, I know it's an inside job, but people need to know about the children. It's a full circle argument, but it is still an inside job. So just enjoy it. Live in the present moment. That's all you've ever had. That's all you're ever going to have. But you're an eternal spirit. So stop giving a shit and start creating the world that you want, because we're also in the age of Aquarius. The manifesting and the synchronicities that I'm experiencing in the last few months are off the charts. I bet you the same for you two, right?
Oh my God.
It's incredible.
It went from a parking spot about 3 weeks ago to seeing this guy up at a bar in Port Townsend, and he had an "End We Know" shirt on, and his name's Doug. And I just went up and started talking to him, and it ended up that it was 4 or 5 years ago that Katie Rain helped him bring his 1955 former Canadian military wooden boat from Canada down to, I think, the Paulsbo area. And then from there, I've met amazing people in the Paulsbo area, and just it's been, it's been unbelievable.
Well, and just a comment about a guy's shirt led to spending a day with Katie Rain out on the water. It was phenomenal.
For 12 hours.
And the synchronous, she was only going to be there the one
for that day. For that day, that was it.
So it just lined up beautifully, and it was an amazing day. It was really spectacular.
Yeah, I went to the shop today to buy some new furniture, and the guy was buying the furniture off. I don't even know how it happened. Oh no, that's it. So I treated myself because it's on sale. One of these pod chairs that hang off a thing.
Oh yeah.
Right. They hang off an iron arm on a spring. And this one you can kind of lie back in. And I said, I'm buying this because this is the perfect chair to watch UFOs. That's why I sit outside like this every night. And he started laughing. He started laughing because I was like, this is the perfect chair. You can be there with the fucking binoculars, the telescope, laid back, table here, glass of wine, perfect, and it's really comfy. And he started laughing, and I was like, I knew it wasn't taking the piss laughter. And we had this amazing conversation. And he's like, yeah, I watched them too. And and then suddenly we're having this with a guy selling me a garden chair. It's fucking brilliant.
That's great.
But this is the thing. Don't be afraid. I was in the cafe last week, and I was like, there's a guy here. I told you guys before, I think, that this town I'm in is the UFO capital of Ireland. There was a UFO crash here in 1996, just there, right? Literally just over there. And the American army came out of nowhere. It was cordoned off for ages. And that attracted a load of people here, one of which is now UFO Ireland's most prominent ufologist, right? He's got one of these space telescopes in the roof of his house that tracks them automatically. And he goes through it very scientific. Unlike me, I just call him in and talk to them. He goes it very scientifically. And over 30 years, he's said that there are at least 40 or so here, I might be getting the numbers wrong, that are irrefutable. And he's worked out that there's particular tracks that they go down. And I've noticed that as well here, because they always go in this direction or that direction. There's very clear UFO patterns going on. It's like they're like sentries. They're caretakers. I don't know what, but it's kind of like, anyway, I've been trying to get hold of this guy for 5 years on and off. In fact, I told my friend, I said, how do I get hold of him? Where does he live? And he said, well, he's very reclusive. And I've rung him, and I said, you need to know about Mark Attwood because he really wants to talk to you. And this is how fucking funny life is, right? And I'm like, okay, great. And he said, what did he say? Because I really want to interview him. I want to go and film him. I want to talk to him because he's got 30 years of UFO research right on my doorstep. Wow. And my friend said, well, he said, you have to read this book first. And it's a book called Conspiracy of Silence, UFOs in Ireland. So I went and bought it online, and it took 6 weeks to get here. Anyway, got here, and I'm reading it going, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm in the cafe literally 4 days ago, ordered a cappuccino, sat there, and I'm hearing these two guys talking about Stephen Greer. And I'm like, beep, 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 beep. I'm like, then I hear about them. One of them was a pilot. I'm like, beep, 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 beep. And then they start talking about UFOs. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I have to get up. And they're having such a good conversation that I just had to interrupt. And I said, look, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. And I looked at one of them. I said, you're Eamon, aren't you? And he went, I am. And I said, well, anyway, my name is Mark. I used to be a pilot. Well, I still am. And I see ships all the time. And he went, great. How are you? And then he said, were you at this meeting 3 months ago in this place? And I said, I was. He said, I was sat next to you. And I went, oh, for fuck's sake, how can I be sat next to you? Been looking for you for 5 years. I was sat next to you and I didn't recognize you. And it's like God just brings you together with the right people at the right time. The teacher appears when the student is ready. All this stuff, ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom, everything's kind of preordained. But when you are vibrating at the right frequency, which actually has very little to do with what you eat or consume, frequency is what it is. Because they've told me they don't care what we do. right? Drugs, booze, doesn't matter. Well, it's your choice. It's free will. But when you are in truth and you have let go of all the things and ideas that used to bog you down and frighten you and blah blah blah, then everything happens with grace and ease. It's just beautiful.
I've always said, as far as food is concerned, because we talked about the veganism and everything, if you enjoy something enough, it's health food. Like if you get enough pleasure out of what you're eating, it's good for you.
Yeah, and by the way, I just want to say, vegans, I have absolutely nothing against you. I was a vegan for years. It's all part of your own thing, you know. It's probably too late now. They probably already hung up on.
They might have left.
Yeah, half an hour ago.
Well, then your boyfriend left you and you started eating meat again. Is that no? No, bad vegan joke. No, I'm mostly vegetarian myself, but I can't give up the cheese because I'm Italian. But, no, I mean, I get it. There's arguments for all these things, but the point is, enjoy your life. Enjoy. I mean, food is a big part of enjoying your life. For me anyway.
Oh, well, it's huge. It's wonderful. Food's wonderful. But it turns out the stuff that actually tastes good the first time you taste it is the stuff that's good for you. Like mama's milk. What guy, who doesn't love a breast? I'm just trying to wind people up now. But it's true. It's true. Well, what and what's also true is like mama's food. Especially you're Italian, right? You understand this. Mama making the meal.
Oh, yeah.
Because food has mama's love in it. Frequency. That's why.
Well, and you're nourishing your soul. And the body's gonna come and go, but your soul, you're kind of stuck with that. If you're lucky.
Your body's not even real.
Nourish it. Exactly.
You are a soul. That's all you are.
Ones and zeros.
I'm an arsehole.
Yeah, the ones taste great. The zeros are a little off this time of year, though. It's all frequency, everything. It's all energy behaving differently. Everything is that.
Yeah.
So intention has a lot to do with the frequency.
Intention's everything.
Yeah. So that's why your cigarettes don't harm you.
They don't, because I tell them that they don't.
They might even help you.
Well, I think they are, because actually throughout COVID, cigarette smokers were less likely.
No, that's what I was just thinking.
Yep.
Wow.
And I've got an oregano inhaler in there, which is another Harry Rhodes invention, which is curing people who've had asthma for 50 years. Right, because what the medical institution has been giving them steroids, but actually it's all bacteria. So you take the oregano, a couple of days, people are writing in going, it's gone. The asthma's gone with oregano.
It's powerful, that stuff. But even better is the probiotics, because if you have the right bacteria, you don't have the wrong bacteria, the pathogens and so on. And it's balance. I guess we're having a conversation about balance, aren't we?
The spore-based probiotics thing blew my fucking socks, because I know a lot of stuff. I know a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But what's her name? I've forgotten her name.
Heather
Holmes.
Heather. Sorry, Heather, if you're watching this. You're amazing, Heather, and what you've done. Her probiotics have proudly sits in my kitchen, because I want to tell people when they come in. I want to say, look at this. Do you know what this is? And they're like, no, what's that? Oh, I drink kombucha. And I'm like, well, that's no fucking good. Hello, who's that? Yeah, I'm still on a show, but I'm nearly finished. Don't talk, because your voice is now on the show.
Hello.
No,
it's the peanuts.
I'd rather you sat around the fire and broke bread with your father for a bit before.
Perfect.
Nearly done. Gonna have to go now, guys.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, yeah. Well, let people know where they can find you, and we'll do the same. I mean,
I've got stalkers. I'm not telling anybody where they can find me.
Perfect. He said that online, perhaps.
Well put, Joe. Wise. Well, I keep getting fucking deleted everywhere. I don't know why.
Except Rumble.
Yeah, but even they've been suppressing and censoring.
Yeah.
Actually,
we get that too.
We've had the same number of subscribers for like 6 months or something, it seems.
Well, it goes in increments.
Yeah.
No, mine goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, and it's the same.
Yeah.
It's 19.9 for 6 months. It's crackers.
Yeah, it's a circus.
It's Canadian. They have different math up there.
Hooray for Canada.
Wow.
What's it all about?
Yeah.
Well, like if someone wants your book, maybe.
Oh, well, I've just sold. I think I've only got about 5 left. I'm actually going to have to go onto Amazon. I'm going to have to, because every time I print that, because you've seen the quality of it, right?
Oh, it's
It's
beautiful.
amazing.
It cost a fortune to make.
Yeah.
And then it's set up and you've got a thing. So I can only send it from England. So I feel really bad because it's like, it's like $50 to fucking send it. It's nuts. The price of, and I'm really sorry about this, but that's just the way it is. I couldn't control the quality of it and do it, but I'm actually thinking now maybe a paperback version on a print on demand thing worldwide. And the only goddamn solution is Amazon. And so I might have to do that, but I think the White Hats are in control of that anyway. But there might be a few copies left at the markattwoodshow.com, which is where there is a shop there. And, I'm pretty sure I've lost money on it. I don't really care, to be honest. I only made the book because people asked me to make the book, and I only wanted the book I wanted that version to be in the hands of the most amazing people on earth who know what this is all about. So they've got a memoir of this time. Because it is a memoir. It's like a commentary in the last couple of years. And even if you don't like my poetry, I don't care. It's about the images as well. That's why I had to do it full color, hardback, solid, so that because I've said the same thing consistently. If I'm wrong, or if we're wrong, then that is just a very expensive piece of toilet paper.
Right.
And if I'm right, which I am there, 100%,
this is genius.
I mean, that is just truth right there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So even if I'm wrong, at least a few pages are true. Yeah. Not
It's genius.
you guys know Peter Cook and Dudley Moore?
Dudley Moore? Yeah, we know Dudley.
Oh yeah.
Of him.
Peter Cook?
What's that?
Peter Cook.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Well, 60 years ago, when Peter Cook and Dudley Moore were young, they had a comedy, or Peter Cook had a comedy club in London called the Establishment. And they did the Edinburgh Festival. They were young comedians, and they did a character double act called Derek and Clyde. And Derek and Clyde was brilliant. It was like, oh, do you know what? I saw this bloke the other day. Did you? Yeah. Do you know what he did? No. He said, fuck off. I said, what do you do then? Well, I'll kick the cunt. Did you? What happened? Well, do you know what he did? He had the audacity to say, oh, what do you do then? Well, I kicked the cunt again, didn't I? Fucking nice one. That was in 1960.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I used to listen to their records as a kid. So in the middle of COVID, that there is but one word that sums them up perfectly, and that word is God. I mean, how do you explain to a Christian that came from God? Because it did. Because even Peter Cook and Dudley Moore are fractals of God. We all are.
It's in the Old Testament.
Exactly. It's all about ownership of the language. The language controls us, right? So we take ownership of it back and we turn it into comedy, right? So instead of people getting wound up about that word, no, that's really offensive to women. No, it isn't. I know loads of women that find that the best fucking word they've ever heard, because it's about intention. Back to what you said. It's about intention. And we take ownership of all of this because we are sovereign. And I'm having that fucking word back and I'm putting it into a poetry book. If you don't like it, fuck off.
Offense is taken, not given.
Exactly.
So don't take it.
So take it.
It's your choice. Yeah.
No, buy my book. Get offended. I'll get a bit of money. Brilliant.
Well, if you get offended, you're probably a cunt.
No, if you get offended, you're 100% a cunt.
Oh God. Well, Mark, we'll let you get back to your family and your daughter.
You missed me, haven't you?
So much. You're like the one reason we have to return to Ireland.
That's right.
Oh, you got right. If you come to Ireland, we're going to take 5 days out and go on a massive bender.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
We met a lot
will-
of cunts over there. It was actually surprising.
yeah. Country's full of cunts.
Country.
Yeah. We can talk about all. We did not have the best trip the
Yeah.
last time. We were,
Yeah, we'll
but
make up
hey,
for it.
maybe this will be the
Yeah.
apology tour or something.
Yeah.
I don't
Next
know.
time, you come to Ireland, I will host you, and we will drive around, and we'll go to sacred sites and sacred pubs.
Perfect.
We're doing it this winter, maybe. Well, wait. What is?
Yeah, it'd be winter in Ireland.
It's always winter in Ireland.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it has been. I'm sat here in a jumper. It's fucking
There's
August.
no good season, right? We were there in the summer, and it was the worst winter I've been
No,
through.
April and May are usually pretty hot here. Well, have been the last few years. But this July, August has been absolutely freezing.
Yeah, that's when
why
we were
by
there.
the fire with the
Yeah.
jumper on.
We were there in July. That's
No, and it was
you know.
beautiful weather in the Northwest, which it only happens a couple months out of the year. And here we are spending those beautiful months in Ireland.
Well, it
getting
was
rained
about a
on.
week and a half.
Yeah,
But still.
Well, I tell you, the greatest thing about this country is that the spirit hasn't gone. And it doesn't matter where you go, you will bump into somebody who will talk to you in the street, and you'll have the most amazing conversation. And they're the, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the Irish are the greatest nation. It's the greatest nation on earth. Although it's been taken over, but the spirit's still there. It's still here. And I think a lot of people that are drawn here because of the spirit, or they've got a link to that spirit. And this is how this place has been subjugated. I mean, you guys need to read a book called Ireland, Land of the Pharaohs. I think I might have mentioned it to you before. Read that book. It's mind-blowing when you understand. In fact, I was stood in a sacred site earlier this week. I went to visit an amazing healer, and he took me. He's got this house, and literally in his back garden are two of these ancient round towers of Ireland, which nobody actually definitively knows what they are. They're ancient, they're round, and they're very tall, right? There are people watching this who go, I know what they are. Well, yeah, prove it, you know, because it's subject for debate. And there's two cemeteries there, and I went into the new one, and just over the wall there's this beautiful lake. And he showed me, he said, just look over that wall, what do you see? And I saw this round piece of concrete, and I was like, that's interesting. He said that's a helipad that was built specifically for Pope John Paul II, who came to Ireland and said, I want to go to this particular site. And I was like, well, how did they build a helipad so quickly if it wasn't planned? So that was the first thought. So obviously it was planned, right? And when you understand how energy works and everything else, and this guy was talking about the Pope like he was a good guy, and I know he wasn't a good guy. So, but I didn't say anything. And I was like, this is really interesting. And then a little bit further up the hill, there was ruins of a cathedral, ancient church, and a chapel. And I got taken into this chapel and told that Scota was buried here. Now, Scota is the granddaughter of an Egyptian pharaoh, whose name I could never remember, begins with an A, Anna something, right?
Akhenaten. That's
the guy, right? And he told me that, what's his name again?
Akhenaten.
Akhenaten, right? So I can never remember his name, but it's going to go, it'll get into my head eventually. He was pharaoh of Egypt for 17 years. And when he told me this, I went, 17, that's interesting. And he went, why? I said, well, you know, obviously I know a little bit more than you, maybe, even though you're the older, wiser guy. And then he said to me, that's the same. I can't remember his name. No. He's the same. He was the same guy as Moses. And I was like, how is that possible? So, and then anyway, we're in this chapel, and he said, this is where Scota is buried. An Egyptian princess is buried in the middle of Ireland. What? From thousands of years ago. So this all links up with Atlantis and everything else, and Egypt and the ancient builder race and the Tuatha Dé Danann, on all of this melting pot of stuff that's in my head that I really want to go and make a documentary series about, because there's so many people that know so much about this, and I'm just the idiot that's like popping in and going, wow, that's amazing. But here's the amazing thing, is that when I was stood inside that place, I didn't feel anything. Then we walked outside, and I was just walking by the side of it, and then suddenly, whoa, I was connected to Scota. Who, by the way, Scotland is named after this Egyptian princess. Scotland. Scotland. Hey, right? Egypt, Israel, the whole fucking thing is totally not what we think it is. And I said, I think she's here. And he said, I think you're right. Because I was getting it. I was like this. I was like the French guy in the Highlander when he first chops the guy's head off and he's getting that's called the quickening. You know, it's like that.
Nicely done.
You can't die, you fool, you're immortal. You know, it's all that. And it's like, I was getting in the car, driving back, going, this is my life now. I'm talking to Egyptian princesses. Guys are ringing me talking about fucking dragons made of light. And then there's guys in a fucking caravan, usually, who want to speak to me on Sunday night.
Well, we just found out about an Egyptian. Well, it was like a whole city in the side of the Grand Canyon that's full of Egyptian artifacts. And
from Olson.
Well, they've known about it for a long time, but we're only recently learning about this. It's been very protected. But how did that happen?
That came up in conversation today with somebody else.
Yeah.
The Grand Canyon has definitely been scooped out by a big machine. I mean, when I was in the States and I went to the Devil's Tower, I mean, how can anybody drive into that valley and not go, oh, that's a fucking big tree. That's a huge tree. How can they? And you've got visitor centers there just ignoring the fact that it's a fucking great big tree.
Yeah.
Like, you go to the Giant's Causeway. I've said this before. You go to the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. It's stunning. It's like hexagonal. It's a causeway. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Giants.
Yeah.
And there's a visitor center there, multi-million-pound visitor center that goes on about how it's organic rock formation, it's volcanic lava. It's like, I mean, a fucking 5-year-old can look at that and go, hang on, how does lava form in the shape of a hexagon? Huh? They're just lying. And I've said this for ages. They lie not only in the books, not only in the media, they lie in this physical world right in front of you. And all you've got to do is question it. And the answers are all there. You know the truth. We all know the truth.
Beautiful.
Still trying to figure out how they sent the photographer ahead of the Apollo crew for the moon landing. So he could...
because they were great party organizers. They got the best event organizers. They thought ahead. They were like, how are we going to sort this? Well, I tell you what, let's send the rocket up first. Send that photographer up. He can go there first and he can wait for them.
Well, they put a science fiction author in charge, who happened to be a Nazi of NASA.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Werner von Braun. Now, this is why
he came up in conversation today as well.
I question whether Elon Musk is really a person, because how many Elons do you know? And the only one I'd ever heard of was in a science fiction novel by Werner von Braun, and the guy was obsessed with Mars. Elon. Yeah.
You couldn't make this shit up, could you?
No.
It's crazy.
Except I think we did.
Yeah.
I think we made all this shit up because we created the divine plan, where there was only one result. We created all of it.
Just the four of us.
Are you seeing double?
Well, I included God.
Oh, right.
We needed a little help, but
It's the four of us. You can make it if you try.
Well, we are all one anyway, right?
That's right.
Well, precisely, because we're all
At the
God.
end of the day. Yeah.
So a divine plan was devised by us in the future, because we're all time travelers and we're all multidimensional. Our souls have existed for billions of years. And it was like, well, how do we fuck these guys up? Well, let's create this plan and then act it out. And it'll be good for us.
And then throw about 80% NPCs in there just for good measure.
just to make it fun.
But it's not boring.
Oh, not boring.
Exactly. I mean, go back 5 years and imagine this conversation 5 years ago.
Oh,
I'd wonder what language it was in.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna wait for the ships to come in. They're popping in now.
Well, tell them I said hello.
Well, they already know because it's probably you up there.
Yeah.
it might be.
You know, I got a story about that, but we'll save that one.
Yeah,
for
we'll
another
save that
time.
for later time.
Yeah,
Well, let's do another show soon, and
please.
come to Ireland. I'm coming to America, I think, about October.
Oh, good. Please let us know. Yeah.
Yeah. Any particular part, or are you gonna
Oh shit! I was not going to let you know. Oh fuck! It's cat's out of the bag.
cat's out of the bag? Well, maybe then you can sign the book.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm completely wrong, and it's just toilet paper. Mind you, don't wipe your ass on the gold leaf because that's very.
No,
slippery.
that might be. Yeah.
I've tried it. I've tried it.
I just thought of a paper cut in a sensitive area. That's
Oh
definitely
God.
not happening. No.
I can fix that.
Yeah.
I'll step out of the room there.
Yeah. The probiotics would work for that, actually.
Yeah, I spray them
for
on
wound care.
everything
for-
now.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
looking well, guys. You're looking well. This must be good.
Thank you. Thank you. We're trying to still see you, but it's definitely night there as you're in Ireland.
It's dark Atwood. It's perfect.
It's dark. It's dark Atwood. Well, we'll let your viewers know that, and we'll give you our links. Yeah, we're TruthStream with Joe and Scott, Rumble primarily, Telegram, TikTok, Truth Social, Twitter.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Sort of. An
Yeah.
abbreviated version.
yeah, abbreviated the stuff that doesn't get censored.
Yeah.
Anyway, easiest just go to Rumble, TruthStream with Joe and Scott, and we have all our links below. So, Mark, it's been amazing. Once again, thank you for sending the book, and thanks for everybody for watching. And hang out after, and we'll officially say goodbye to you. But thanks, everybody.
You two of the best guys I've ever met. Thank you.